Well, Gaffney said she had some information for me, and the price was a bottle of scotch. Well, like a fool, I brought it in for her. Well, obviously a deal like that has to be kept secret. I didn't know she had a tape recorder running.
And you were playing private detective trying to find it for him.
The integrity of the officers must be maintained at all times.
Oh, come on, Vera. There's been a serious breach of regulations. I'm surprised you allowed yourself to get so involved.
Jim, it's not her fault.
I know that.
You know, the question is, where do we go from here, mate?
Buggered if I know, mate.
Oh, it's a fair cop, Your Honour, I admit it. I bashed Margot. I snuck up behind her and clobbered her with my little piece of wood. She's a rotten bitch.
Where's the rest of it?
What?
Come on, Doreen, the tape.
Oh, yeah, that stuff. Well, I've got that right here, Your Honour. Oops. I didn't mean to nick it, but it was right there with the grog.
I hate you, Meg. I hate you!
Nicholas John Clark, no fixed address.
Oh, get your bloody hands off me.
Listen, Clark, you're in enough trouble without making it worse. So shut up and listen to the charges. Disturbing the peace, willful damage to private property, and abusive language. Doesn't look as though you learned a lot from last time. Working on your own these days, huh?
Bloody coppers.
You're on probation, aren't you? And you won't be after this. Who's your probation officer? Well? If you'd cooperate, you'd find things a little easier. Clark, Nicholas John. Mrs. Morris.
I've asked Erica for dinner tomorrow night. You're not too busy, are you?
Dinner, darling? Oh, no, I did have a Swedish bird lined up, but she went home.
I'll get it. Meg Morris speaking.
Oh, Mrs. Morris, Sergeant Davies here. Sorry to disturb you at this hour, but we've got one of your boys down here. Clark.
Well, what's the charge? I see. Well, I'd like to see him. I'll come straight down.
Nick, what's he done this time?
He's thrown a bottle through a window and used abusive language. Oh, it's all my fault. I didn't handle it properly.
It's not your fault, darling. You did all you could.
Anyway, I said I'd go down and see him.
Okay, I'll drive it.
All right, I'll get it in for you tomorrow.
And that's when I'll come up with my end of the deal.
You little beauty. No wonder he was looking so worried.
Why did you hit Margot?
Saw her with this knife, see? Saw her sharpening it on the window ledge, so I hit her.
What for?
Well, I thought she might have used it on you, B, if you'd had another go at her.
Stupid bitch.
What'd you hit her with?
Bit of wood.
Did you take anything else?
No, only the knife.
I think we might just put that away for a rainy day. Next time you decide to hit someone, let me know. I do like to know who hits who round here.
Yeah, why didn't you tell us?
Well, I didn't want to lose me booze, see? I was going to be for Lizzie. Only I had a bit of it myself. But I'm not going to touch another drop. This is all for Lizzie.
Now, just hang on a minute, kid. In your present state, you couldn't tell the difference between Lizzie and Vera.
Oh.
Stash that for later.
I might lose it.
We'll look after it.
Oh, good. That's real nice of you.
What you need, dear, is a sleep and a bit of coffee.
Well, that's that sorted out. We know what the evidence is and who's got it.
What are you going to do about it?
Haven't decided yet. There's quite a few possibilities. But first of all, just to be on the safe side, we are going to take out a little bit of insurance.
Right, here we go. Down.
Thanks.
Now, I want to know what's been going on.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Nothing but.
Well, Your Honour, it's like this. I gave Gaffney some scotch. She taped the deal. End of story.
Are you sure?
Jim, you don't think that Terry hit Gaffney?
I don't know what to believe.
Oh, come on, mate. You know me better than that. I may buy the odd bit of information. I may bend the rules now and again, but I'm no basher.
You're heavy to that.
Well, sure, when she told me about the tapes. Then I backed off. Well, I wanted time to think. That was the last time I saw her before she was bashed.
And you were trying to destroy the evidence.
I don't believe that we should allow any prisoner to be in a position to victimize staff, Terry or anyone.
But particularly Terry.
No, of course not. If it was someone else, I'd do the same.
Maybe. But the point is, what do we do now? Somewhere in the prison, there's a juicy bit of blackmail.
And if they get away with it once, they'll record everything we say. No one will be safe.
Well, I could confiscate all the tape recorders.
Mrs. Davidson wouldn't have that. She's too busy liberalizing everything. She acts like the prisoners are privileged citizens.
Well, I think I will take their tape recorders and tapes away from them. Mrs. Davidson won't be in tomorrow. Besides, I don't think she'd object.
You mean you're going to help me?
This time, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, the whole thing, isn't it? I wish I hadn't started in the first place.
Well, I don't mind you buying a bit of information from time to time, but I just wish you'd been more careful about it.
Yeah, well, if it comes out I don't want you two involved, I'll resign. There must be some job I haven't tried yet.
I tell you what, once you've been a prison officer, it's pretty hard to get any other job. I know, I've tried it. But don't worry, even if the tapes do come to light, you're probably going to get a reprimand. You're too good to lose.
I agree.
Okay, George, come on. Up we go.
Yes, a red Honda, and the dog's a 7-year-old Pekingese female. Right? Well, that's about all we can do at the moment. I don't think they'll go too far with the car if this dog's as snappy as you say it is. Now, why don't you go home, and if we hear anything, we'll call you. All right?
Good evening, Sergeant.
Sorry to call you out at night, Mrs. Morris.
Sergeant, this is my husband, Bob, Sergeant Davies.
How are you? I'm afraid there's not much we can do about Clark. He's gone too far this time. He's lucky we didn't book him on a couple of other charges.
Well, may I speak to him?
Oh, okay, but don't be too long. He's on the way to the watch house.
Nick! I thought we were really getting somewhere. We were doing so well.
That's what I thought. That's what you wanted me to think. You had me on.
No, Nick. You misunderstood me, that's all. We simply enjoyed having you stay with us. You were like a son. Nothing else.
But I thought you liked me.
I do, Nick. But not the way you took it. Nick, I do like you.
I bet. You're like everybody else. What do you care?
All right, Clark. Time's up. Take him out.
Nick, I'll be at the hearing.
So what? I couldn't care less.
Hi, Angie. Come play dominoes.
You'd better find a safe place for that scotch and knife.
We'll let Doreen keep the scotch she worked hard enough for her. Just make sure she cleans her teeth and walks straight.
What about the cassette?
I got plans for that. Hey, Hazel, I want to borrow your cassette recorder.
What for?
I want a little jumper. What do you reckon?
Can't you use Jude's?
No, my batteries have had it.
Oh, well, might as well, I suppose. I haven't got much use for it. All my tapes are still missing. Oh, you haven't found them, have you?
I wouldn't be caught dead listening to that music. Here we go.
Bedtime, ladies.
Doesn't she manage to make it sound exciting?
Where's Burns?
Oh, she wasn't feeling well. She went to bed early.
Yeah, too many fish fingers.
I didn't know fish had fingers.
Listen, I want that recorder now, before lock-up.
Righto.
No doubt you've all heard Gaffney claiming that she's made a tape that could incriminate an officer. Now, I think we need to move on it and move on it quickly. So first up this morning, I want a thorough cell search.
Do you really think there is a tape?
That's not the point. It indicates the way the women are thinking. Now, I want all tapes and tape recorders confiscated.
How thorough do you want the search?
Very. I don't want to miss a thing. And no showers for the women until we've completely searched each block. All right? Let's go.
Why haven't they rung the bell?
Who cares?
Hey, B! What's going on?
Oh, no. Maybe they all decided to stay home.
Oh.
Do you think you could keep it down to a dull roar?
Headache.
What's happening? It's nearly breakfast time! I'm hungry!
Oh, God, I'm not.
Burns and Bright outside for a body check.
Oh, she's not well.
Looks all right to me. Now move.
Come on, cut that chatter. Just get up against the wall. Come on. Come on, move it.
Outside.
What for?
Against the wall.
I said, get over there.
Oh, take it easy, will ya?
Hard night, Burns.
Oh.
Brian, where's your tape recorder?
My what?
Your tape recorder.
Oh, I lent that to B. Hey, B, you got my tape recorder, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got it.
All right, you two, back inside.
Listen, what's so special about my tapes? You're the second person in 2 days to be interested in
They're
them.
confiscated.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna lie down.
What's that in aid of?
You know better than that.
Come on, I got a right to know.
New policy, no tapes, no recorders.
Since when?
Since now.
Hey, go easy, you don't. Please don't bloody much, do you?
Corridor, Smith.
Well, good morning to you, too. Now, come on, what is all this?
Outside and against the wall.
Charming way to start a day. I remember I'm ticklish, Vera.
That's enough, Smith.
Why have you got 2 tape recorders, Smith?
Because the batteries are dead in one and the other one belongs to Hazel.
What do you need a recorder for?
Well, I was listening to some tapes, wasn't I?
That your kind of music, Smith?
Since when is there a regulation saying what kind of music I can listen to?
This place must be getting to you.
Back inside.
Oh, look, what is all this?
Routine security measures. I was sure you'd understand.
Hello, Gwen. How are you?
I'm fine, Mrs. Davidson. You look well.
It's nice to get away from the office for a day. How's Mother?
The same old thing. She complains about this and that, but the real truth of the matter is she's a lonely old lady with nothing to occupy her mind.
I'm sorry she hasn't kept up her charity work. She practically ran those committees single-handed.
Would help, but it's unlikely. I think she's convinced herself she's too sick for all that now.
What does Dr. Vaughan say?
He tells her there's nothing wrong. She calls him all sorts of incompetent things and doesn't believe a word he says.
It must be very hard for you, Gwen.
I'm not complaining. Her bark's worse than her bite. Anyway, I'm sure she still loves us all.
I'm sure she does. Hello, Mother.
I suppose you're now going to tell me I look very well. Although, considering the length of time since your last visit, I doubt very much if you remember how I looked then.
I think you do look well.
I presume you're too busy with your wayward girls, or whatever they are.
How do you feel?
If you must know, terrible. I've had a lot of pain, and I find it impossible to sleep.
Have you spoken to Dr. Vaughan about it?
Oh, Hubert's a fine man, and I'm very fond of him. But quite frankly, as a medical practitioner, I rather doubt his diagnostic capabilities.
Well, he's looked after the family very well in the past.
He has indeed, in the past. But he's getting on, as we all are. And I don't think he grasps things as well as he should.
Oh, Mother, you remind me of Lizzie, one of our older inmates. She's had all sorts of complaints.
I hardly think I merit comparison with a prisoner, and I resent the suggestion that I'm manufacturing my illness. I could never understand why you chose such a profession.
I enjoy my work.
With your background, you could have had a distinguished career at law. I notice there are a number of lady judges these days. But on the other hand, I'll never know why you didn't settle down to your marriage and have children. At least James has had the decency to procreate. James has been a good son in many ways.
Okay, ladies, smoko. Rack off.
Hey, B, you going to let the screws get away with that?
No, I've been thinking about that.
Well, what about our rights?
Yeah, I bet they don't confiscate tape recorders in the Swedish prisons.
What are you going to do about it, B?
Well, there's always the usual, I suppose. Riot, sit in, go on strike, but we have tried all them before.
Yeah, and it's never worked, remember? Listen, what about that idea that Davo had for the Needs Committee?
Oh, we need the tape recorders back.
And the tapes.
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any. They can hardly call us irresponsible if we set our views properly, put a proper case like good committee members.
It's worth a try.
And if it doesn't work, then we'll try something more persuasive. Okay, so who wants to be on the committee?
Well, not me.
Well, we're going to have to get a representative from each block.
That sounds like a good idea. You look like you could do with some fresh air, Doreen. You take the trolley round to the other blocks and tell them we're going to all have one rep.
I don't think I can walk that.
Oh, rubbish. Go on.
You just don't know how crook I feel.
I know how crook you will feel if you don't do it. Now, get going. Hey, listen, you lot, who's going to be our rep? You.
Oh, well.
I reckon it should be you, B.
Yeah. Any other suggestions? Okay, so it's unanimous. Good choice, ladies.
Yeah, won by a landslide, eh?
So the last one?
From the maternity block.
Good.
The women are upset. Some of the tapes are nursery rhymes for the kids.
You'd just like the women to use an innocent-looking tape for their own purposes.
Hope there's not going to be trouble.
Well, there shouldn't be. If there is any, you let me know straight away. You can pass it on to the other officers as well. They're to watch the women very carefully.
This could go on all day.
You sure Gaffney wasn't bluffing?
Positive. Trouble is, I didn't see it. Could be any one of these.
You better press on then.
Now, you look after yourself, my dear. I'll be back to see you again tomorrow afternoon. Bye-bye.
How is she, Doctor?
Much the same.
Well, it worries me that Mother complains so much of suffering.
I must admit to being a little baffled. Your mother tends to exaggerate her symptoms, but I always allow for that. For example, she will tell me she has a severe migraine when the diagnosis indicates a mild headache.
Well, is she suffering from anything seriously?
No, I think it is age that has contributed most. She says she has severe headaches and blackouts at the moment, so I've given her some tablets. It'll probably turn out to be nothing more than a sinus infection.
Well, that's a relief, but all this exaggeration is worrying.
Yes. Well, I'm afraid it's very common at her age.
Can I get you a cup of tea, Doctor?
Oh, no, thank you, Gwen. I really must be off now. Well, I'll drop in again tomorrow, just to see how she's going. It's lovely to see you again, Erica.
Give my love to Margaret.
Of course. Now, don't you work too hard on that prison of yours. Margaret and I watch all the news. You must be very busy.
Yes, we are.
Well, next time you're up, would you like to come and see us?
Yes, I'd love to.
Fine. Well, I'll show myself out. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Well, what did he tell you? That I'm inventing my illness?
No, he didn't say that.
I could hear you, talking as if I wasn't here. I'm not a vegetable, you know.
Mother, you would do yourself and all of us a great favor if you would think about things more positively.
What do you mean?
Well, get out more, meet people, enjoy life.
How can I?
You are 69 years of age. There are lots of people that age who live incredibly busy and happy lives.
They're not as sick as I am.
Mother, the oldest inmate at Wentworth is 72 years of age. She's had 2 heart attacks, and only a few months ago she attempted to escape through a tunnel.
I resent your inference, Erica, and I abhor the comparison. I simply am not well enough to lead the life I used to live, whether you believe me or not.
Oh, Mother.
And what's more, if you showed as much concern for your own mother as you do for your social misfits, perhaps I would feel better.
You have no right to say that. I care for you far more than you ever cared for us as children. It's a pity you didn't show the responsibility towards me growing up that you expect from me now. How could you? Oh, Mother. Mother. Gwen. Gwen, come quickly.
Don't be so worried. She's fine.
How can you be so sure?
Suffice to say, it isn't the first time she's employed that trick. She does it if the situation gets beyond her.
You mean she was pretending to faint?
Oh, no. She merely withdrew from the situation. Don't be so worried. She's sitting up in bed complaining as well as ever.
Gwen, you're amazing. I don't know how you do it.
Well, now, will you be staying for dinner?
Thank you. No, I have to get back. I have a prior engagement.
You must lead a very busy life.
I thought so too. Until today.
Come in.
Smith and her cronies claim they formed a needs committee. You can imagine what they think they need.
How many of them are there?
4, but Smith's the leader. Do you want to see them?
You're all right, send them in.
Inside. We wanted to see Mrs. Davidson.
Well, Mrs. Davidson's not here, so you're going to have to deal with me, aren't you?
Well, she suggested we form a needs committee, remember? Well, our big complaint is the confiscation of our tapes and our recorders. We want them back.
The tape recorders are a security risk.
What do you mean?
Well, since Gaffney has claimed to have a blackmail tape, we've realised the danger to the staff.
Well, there wouldn't be any danger if the screws didn't let themselves get into a blackmail situation.
That's the reason the tapes were confiscated, Smith. I'm not going to argue with you, and that's the reason why they're not going back. Now, have you got any other complaints?
I don't think there's anything you can do for us. Oh, by the way, Vera, any time you want us to blackmail you, just let me know. For you, I'll make a special rate.
You've had your little committee, Smith. Don't let it go to your head.
How did it go?
Did you get the tapes back? No, bloody high mighty Fletcher's sitting in the governor's chair, isn't he?
Wouldn't he listen?
No, I knew this needs committee wasn't going to work.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, don't you worry. There are other ways. A little less honest. But at least they work.
It always seems odd to go back home. So much of my childhood stares back at me there.
Sounds like a wonderful property.
Oh, it is, and the house itself is beautiful. But I can't see things objectively anymore. And I'm so annoyed with Mother fainting like that.
Yes, well, I can understand why you drew that parallel with Lizzie.
Mother hated it. No, I always feel so guilty when I go back home.
No, why?
Well, I have neglected her a little, but honestly, I just don't have the time. And I find it impossible to cope with Mother's tantrums.
Well, my parents retired up to Lismore. Oh, they write often enough, but well, we never get much of a chance to see each other.
I wish my situation were as simple. I don't know, when I went back there today, I felt as though I'd run away, I suppose. And I do find it difficult to cope with Mother when she's on her own.
Well, what about your brother?
Oh, James gets on much better with her than I do. But then, of course, he's given her grandchildren. You know, that's given me an idea. May I use your phone?
Yes, of course.
I'm going to ring James and see if we can go up there together.
Hello? I've been waiting for you.
You should be asleep.
I just thought we could have a little chat.
What's on your mind?
I got a present for you.
What's this?
Oh, thought you'd be pleased to see it. Don't you recognize it?
Why should I?
Oh, come on. You know what it is, and so do I. All right, I'll take that. It'll be cleaned first. I don't want to incriminate myself, now do I?
What do you want?
Nothing. I just thought this little baby should go back where it belongs.
Uh-huh. And what's the catch?
There isn't one. I don't want to see you get clobbered because of Margot. You're fairly decent. Better than some I could think of.
Well, thanks. I must admit I haven't had too many peaceful nights. Thanks a lot.
If you do want to show your gratitude, you could get the recorders and tapes back from the women.
Well, I can't promise anything, but I'll see what I can do.
You do that.
Good night.
Good night. You're not off the hook yet, Terry, my lad.
Good morning.
Oh, morning. Oh, they're nice. They're from your mother's.
Can't grow flowers like this in the city. Was it quiet yesterday?
Oh, yes, nothing major. I ordered a cell search, had the tapes and tape recorders confiscated, but apart from that, nothing else.
What on earth prompted that?
Well, I considered the danger to the staff was too great. It's too easy for the women to set us up. If Gaffney can do it, then so can the others.
Not if the staff are careful. I want all the equipment returned at once, including the tapes.
But we haven't had them checked yet.
I hardly think they will have allowed you to confiscate the tape. That is, if it exists.
Mrs. Davidson, if the staff are ordered to take back the tape recorders, it'll look as if we're backing down.
I don't think so. Mr. Fletcher, I want the prisoners to feel they can be trusted, and this kind of action doesn't help us or them.
All right, if that's what you want.
I do. Oh, by the way, I'm going out to my mother's again later this morning. You are rostered for duty, aren't you?
Well, I had nothing planned.
Good. And I want to see Mr. Harrison as soon as possible.
Bryant. Stokes.
Well, well, look at this. Hey, didn't you like my Sex Pistols tape? Well, so much for the needs committee. Looks like all you need around here to get results is a little corruption.
Wonder why they gave them back.
I had a little chat with Terry Harrison last night.
As far as I am concerned, all staff, not just senior officers, should avoid any situation where prisoners could attempt to blackmail them. The responsibility lies with you.
Mrs. Davison, there's no proof that I brought anything in for Gaffney, and as for her claims about a tape, that hasn't been proved either.
I'm sorry to have to say this, but I do not believe you. Our work is too important, Mr. Harrison. There is no room for corruption, and I will not tolerate any officer becoming involved with an inmate. If I should ever find any evidence to suggest that any officer is involved in any illegal contact with a prisoner, I shall dismiss him or her immediately. Erica Davidson? Yes? Would you ask him to wait at the gate, please? I shan't be very long. Thank you. I trust I make myself clear.
Yes, Mrs. Davison.
Very well, you may go.
The tapes and tape recordings have been given back, Mrs. Davison.
Good. My brother is waiting for me. I shall be back later this afternoon. And I do not want any repetition of yesterday's action.
Was there any reason why you wanted to come out today?
Everything went so wrong yesterday. There were things I really wanted to say to her, but somehow it was just so hard to talk to her.
Yes, I know what you mean. She's not the easiest person to talk to. Not like the old man.
Oh, no, he could really talk and listen. You know, I often think of Nanny as being more of a mother to me, especially when I was little.
That's funny, so do I. Good old stick, old Nanny.
Do you think Mother and Father really loved each other?
I always assumed they did. It's not something I ever questioned.
I wonder whether they spent all that time together just tolerating each other. Makes me sad to think about it. All that time.
You know, it's odd. Here we are, well into our adulthood, and still hung up on our childhood.
Hi, like another coffee?
Oh, Terry, no, just what happened?
Boy, am I looking forward to this.
Look, don't worry about that.
Now,
What
let's see. White with one for the lady, or is it two? And one...
Look, stop it, Terry. I've been waiting to hear what happened.
I'm sorry, love.
Look, what took you so long? What did Mrs. Davidson say?
Oh, she gave me 20 lashes for being a naughty boy and threatened me with a sack. That's all.
Well, do you think she will sack you?
No, I don't think so. She's just laying down the law, that's all. Which is fair enough. No, I'll be all right. Thanks to you.
Well, I'm glad it's worked out.
Hey, you worry too much.
And I'm surprised you're so confident. What about the tape?
What tape?
Gaffney's tape.
As a matter of fact, B. Smith had it.
I knew she'd be involved. What are you going to do?
Nothing. She gave it to me last night.
Last night? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want you in any deeper.
Well, it's not like Smith. There must be more to it.
I don't see why there should be.
Copies. She's made copies, and she's only given you one of them.
She wouldn't have had time.
Rubbish. Look what happened at the cell search. Smith had 2 recorders.
Well, she said the battery's on Brian's machine with her.
Nonsense. Did we check the batteries? No. She's conned you all right.
Oh, come on, love. It's over and done with.
Sometimes, Terry Harrison, I think you're a fool. Well, nice one, though.
Oh, thanks very much.
But you're still in trouble. So what are we going to do?
We?
Well, you need all the help you can get.
Now, look, Vera, the governor's warned me. Anyone who gets involved gets the sack.
Then we're just going to have to make sure she doesn't find out.
James, how does Mother treat Andrew and Claire?
Well, actually, during the last few years, now that they're older, she's taking a lot more interest in them. I think they get on better with her than we did.
Perhaps she's making up for the mistakes she made with us.
Belated maternalism.
Yes, it could be. I didn't realize how little I know her. I used to think it was my fault we didn't get on, but no, I'm not so sure.
Probably went both ways.
And I think we both regret it.
Cavelli, you were rostered in the workshop. You're supposed to stay there until the bell goes. Or isn't there enough work for you? I might have you moved back to the laundry and given extra duties, just to be sure that you're not underworked. Now get moving.
That was a bit heavy, wasn't it?
Well, yes, I know what you said, but they need to be disciplined or they'll go berserk.
Look, if you keep having them like that, we'll never get anywhere with them.
What do you mean?
Well, even the governor's taking that approach. The gentle approach. You know what I mean?
Look, I'm surprised at you, especially with an incriminating tape over your head.
That's the whole point. If you keep having them, we'll never find out where those copies are.
Well, what do you suggest we do?
Look, just relax. Take the pressure off them and keep your eye on Smith. When she thinks there's no threat in the air, then she'll get careless and then we move in.
I'm not convinced.
Look, it's the only way. Be nice to them. And we're in business.
I'll try, but I don't think it'll work.
I think you'd be surprised.
Well, I must say, it is a rare sight to see both of you at once. I suppose I should be grateful. Especially to you, Erica. I only saw you last week.
Oh, Mother. It was yesterday.
Was it really? Oh, all the days seem much the same to me. Of course, at my age and with my complaint, what else can you expect?
Arthur, you make yourself sound like an old crock.
Well, I am old and I am sick, James. I don't think everyone realizes just how sick I am.
Well, I can remember, and not so long ago, when you were the star of all those big charity dues. You could dance with the best of them.
I was young then.
You were as fit as a fiddle. And according to Dr. Vaughan, you could be now. All you've got to do is convince yourself.
I couldn't dance again. I'm well past all that gallivanting about. No, I'm a sick old lady and I have to face reality.
Mother, you are as young as you feel.
I don't believe that. My medical records show just how ill I really am. Gwen? Gwen? Where are my pills? It's 1 o'clock. Gwen!
It's all right, dear. I'll go.
Oh, thank you, dear. Why didn't James bring the children? He knows I love to see them.
Well, I suppose they have their own lives to live.
They're coming on very well. Did you know Claire had been offered a position at the university? 22 years old and already on her way to becoming a professor.
Yes, she is very talented.
You could have done that. You had the head for it.
Yes, Mother. But I wanted something else.
Why didn't you remarry after your divorce?
Well,
You could have had a family. You were young enough.
I was immersed in my career and I just didn't meet the right man.
Didn't you want children?
Well, I've never really thought about it.
We don't converse very well, you and I, do we? You never tell me much about yourself.
Well, that's hardly my fault, is it? All my life, I wanted a mother I could talk to, be with. But you were never there. You were never available. When I was a little girl, you hardly ever talked to me. And as soon as possible, you sent me off to boarding school. You didn't want me. You didn't care about me. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Here we are. Pink pills as ordered. Will Madame have them as hors d'oeuvre or main course?
I don't think I shall live much longer.
Nonsense, Mother. You'll hit the century.
No, I think not. There comes a time when you know that enough is enough.
Oh, Mother.
When you are no longer needed, there's no point in outstaying your welcome. I know all about that.
I shouldn't pay much attention to Mother's little outburst. Just her way of getting sympathy.
I don't know how Gwen puts up with it.
She's a wonder, that woman.
Oh, James, it does worry me when we can't communicate. I tried today. I really tried.
You can't get through. We've just got to face that. She is not the old man. Just got to take her as she is.
I wonder what she was like when she was young. It's strange, you know, they hardly ever talked about their early married life.
It's a mystery to me, too. Probably a busy social life, the old man setting up his practice and all that.
Aye, mixing with the masses, eh? Just because I'm acting governor for a couple of hours doesn't mean to say I'm moving the martini class.
Well, her coffee's as lousy as ours, is it?
It's the same jar.
Boy, did she tear a strip off me this morning.
Yeah, well, you better take it easy with her for a couple of days. She means business.
Yeah, don't you worry. I'm going to be Mr. Nice Guy to everybody.
Good, that's the way she likes it.
I think we're over the worst, though.
Yeah, well, I don't like the idea of giving those tapes back. It'll give the women all sorts of ideas. I just hope that Gaffney tape never shows up.
It already has.
What? Who's got it?
Well, B. Smith had it, but she gave it to me.
Well, when did she give it to you?
Last night.
Last night? And you waited this long to tell me? Listen, when anything shows up, you tell me straight away. Where's the tape she gave you?
I destroyed it.
For Pete's sake, how do you expect us to clear this thing up if you keep on destroying the evidence? Just stick to regulations, will you?
All right, I'm sorry. Don't seem to be able to do anything right.
That's the understatement of the century.
Yeah, well, it won't happen again.
Bloody well better not.
Good afternoon.
Well, back to the fortress.
I sometimes wonder who the prisoners are, the inmates or the staff.
Look, I've nothing special on this afternoon. Why don't we take the afternoon off? A quiet drink at the club might be just what we need.
Oh, James, I'd love to, but I really must get back. We have a bit of trouble brewing at present.
Trouble? What kind of trouble?
The worst kind. Senior staff who can't be trusted.
Hey, what are you going to do with the tape?
I haven't decided yet.
Does he know you've got a copy?
Nobody's no deal. He'll figure it out.
Well, they'll do another cell search.
Maybe. They won't find it. I think we've got ourselves a very useful little friend.
I bet he's kicking himself, huh?
Too bad. It's his own fault. Serves him right.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. I mean, he doesn't know how many tapes there are. He doesn't know who has them. And he doesn't know when they're going to turn up.
Well, it's a real mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the way Vera's carrying on, we might end up with two little friends. And I'm beginning to enjoy this.
Hey, somebody's polished off me grog.
Will you quit waving that around like a flag? What's wrong with you?
Grant?
Damn.
Smith, the governor wants to see you.
Oh, needs a hand, does she?
Come on.
Stokes, take that bin outside and empty it. The rest of you get back to work. Bryant, you take over the press while Smith's away.
losing me marbles, Jude. How come Vera didn't nab us with that bottle?
Well, Bea must be right. Vera is on our side.
Smith, Mrs. Davison.
Bring her in.
Come on, Smith.
Firstly, I want to apologize for the confiscation of your tape recorders and cassettes.
Well, I reckon I know why we got them back, Mrs. Davidson. It seems the needs committee we formed was a waste of time.
What needs committee?
When the things were confiscated, we formed a committee and fronted Mr. Fletcher.
You haven't mentioned this, Mr. Fletcher.
Well, it wasn't an official committee. It was just a group of women from the various blocks that had got together. I didn't see any point to their demands at the time.
Would you wait outside for a moment, please? Sit down, Smith. When I agreed to return to this position, it was on the understanding that we could work towards more harmony in the prison.
Oh, it suits me.
A needs committee is vital for our communication.
It won't work, Mrs. Davidson. We tried it.
I think it would, if both parties wanted it badly enough.
And how do we know the same thing won't happen next time?
Well, I think I've shown my good faith by returning your tape recorders.
You?
Yes, I'm only sorry that it happened.
But I thought... No one else suggested it?
No, it was entirely my own decision.
All right, Mrs. Davidson, I can't promise anything, but I will have a word with the others.
I'm sure you could persuade them.
You never know. I'll let you know how I get on.
Good.
Oh, Mr. Harrison.
You're supposed to be in the laundry.
I've just had a chat with the governor.
What about?
She said she ordered the return of those tapes.
That's right.
You had nothing to do with it.
Mrs. Davison beat me to it.
That means you still owe me one.
What do you have in mind?
Well, haven't decided yet.
Now, look, I'm not risking my neck again for anything illegal.
I think I hold all the cards at the moment.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
You gave me the tape. I owe you a favor, that's all.
Come on, I'm not that stupid. Neither are you.
Copies.
Give the man a Cupid doll.
So what you gave me last night is worthless?
I wouldn't say that. At least you know what it is I've got on you.
Sure, but I don't owe you a favor for that.
All you have to do is toe the line, because if you don't, I'm going to drop a tape right on the governor's desk. And I mean it.
I am appalled that I cannot leave this place in your hands for one moment without fearing the worst.
I did what I thought was the right thing, and I'm prepared to stand by it. I think you're overreacting.
What really concerns me is the Prisoners' Needs Committee, which, as you know, I was keen to establish.
That wasn't a committee, it was...
That is exactly what I wanted, a move initiated by the prisoners. That way it looks like their own idea.
Well, I'm sorry if I misunderstood. I suppose that I'm a bit of a traditionalist. You see, I expect prisoners to behave like prisoners.
In future, Mr. Fletcher, I expect you to support the projects I initiate. And I also expect you to show some common sense in helping them to work, especially when I am not here. That is all.
Gwen! Gwen, can't you hear the phone? Oh, how inconsiderate.
I want to catch you before you went. What's wrong?
I'm in strife again.
What is it?
Oh, nothing much. You're right, I've been a bloody idiot. Smith has got those tapes, and she's going to use them if I don't do as she says.
You're not going to let her get away with that, are you? You're a match for Smith.
Vera, we're in trouble if she uses those tapes, and if I'm living with you and it comes out, well, you'll be hauled into it as well.
What are you saying?
I'm moving out. Vera, if I'm going down, I'm not dragging you down with me.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, let's face it, love, I'm nothing but trouble to you. I mean, why give Smith a double satisfaction?
I don't care about Smith. I care about you. I don't want to lose you. I'm not going to give you up just for this. We'll fight it, both of us. Please, Terry.
Vera, I'm finished. She's got me. Who knows how many copies of that tape she's got, or who's got them?
I'm not going to let Smith ruin our relationship.
Vera, I know what your career means to you. I have to go.
Terry.
I'll see you later.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside, the roses grow. They don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too when morning comes around.